different than most classes at the high school. Our class meets every day. It's a 2-credit class, so students who take the course will receive a credit for art, and they'll receive a credit for English as well. Mr. Waldy is my cohort, and he teaches the art portion of the class, and I teach the English part of the class.
For the media journalism class, I handle everything related to the technology and the look of the show and the sound of the show. So while Ms. Connolly handles the writing, I handle like the cameras and Final Cut and all the software, teaching the students how to use everything, and also the art of it. Like how to make things look better, how to make things sound better, how to tell a more dynamic and compelling story.
The class runs 2 different ways. When we first start, for the first 6 weeks of the course, we front load all of the information, so the students learn everything that they're going to need to know for the remainder of the year. Once we teach them, and when I say we teach them everything, it's impossible to teach them everything, but once we teach them enough for them to start production, the students will spend 6 weeks in 4 different rotations, and those 4 different rotations are newsletter, podcasting, field crew, and what's the 4th one? Field crew and studio.
So as coordinating producer, I basically put the show together from little bits and pieces to a show that people watch on YouTube.
So I am the executive podcaster, which means I am in charge of getting everyone's podcast together for the week and uploading them online so our community and friends can all hear and listen in.
Well, I'm editor-in-chief of the newsletter, so basically what it is I write my own article, and then I also oversee my team's articles. So, it's just coming up with ideas together, making sure everybody's on the right track, and then when it comes to it, editing the articles, and we all edit each other's, but I sort of do a final edit to make sure everything's good.
Goodness, I love everything about this class, but I guess the thing that I love the most is the bonds that I wind up forming with my students. The students that I had the first year that I taught this class are students that I am still in touch with. We have a group chat and we talk all the time. They're so supportive of the classes that follow them. Every single year on the first day, the kids are texting furiously, "Oh my gosh, the show was so great, I saw it." So they're also very supportive of the class. But I guess my favorite thing is just the bonds that I form with all of my students.
My favorite thing about BGTV is it's the type of thing where we are all in charge of ourselves. No one's really telling you what to do. You have freedom to do, with approval from Ms. Connolly and Mr. Waldy, you have approval to do basically whatever you want. And I like having that creative freedom, so it gives me a chance to do what I want to do and still contribute it to something bigger than just what I'm doing.
My favorite thing about podcasting so far is probably working together during the creative meetings. I feel like you go in with an idea, and then when you start talking to people about, that idea, it changes and you get, better things to do and incorporating other people's ideas, and it works out really well.
What makes this different is that you get a job in the real world where you're given a specific assignment and then you have to monitor it yourself. You're not really being hovered over by the teacher. You're told, okay, go out, find a story. You have to do everything, edit it, do the interviews, all this stuff by yourself, and then you have to pray to God that it goes well.
About it. Once Mr. Waldy and I do those first 6 weeks of instruction, the kids are on their own. It is a job. They are working for the school, and Mr. Waldy and I just help put out fires and teach through critiquing shows and newsletters and podcasts.
Oh my goodness, this class totally prepares students for the real world. Absolutely. There's 2 major things we do. We teach the technology, meaning the cameras and everything about journalism, but we also teach what we call soft skills, meaning students working together in teams, students seeking out and finding their own solutions. I'll have students ask me, "Hey, Mr. Waldy, how do I do this?" And my response is often telling them how to Google search the answer for that question. So teaching them how to teach themselves.
Well, I have always loved things that have to do with cameras. My mom is a photographer, and I've always sort of been around cameras and this type of thing, so it's something that I've always been pretty interested in. And then when I started thinking about college, I decided the things that I had already settled on were not what I wanted to do. And so I switched to digital media, which is exactly what BGTV really is.
You know, there's only so many creative outlets in the school, and to have an outlet like this where I could, you know, write about whatever I want or film whatever I want and add my personality into things, and it be a class period, that is like the perfect combination. So I was immediately interested.
Just be on top of your work and just like plan ahead, because that's the most important thing is it's yourself. So if you know that you cannot monitor yourself, find a buddy and say, yo, keep me on task, and do all that stuff and stay on top of your future story.